any of you that have purchased leather boots before, and especially the ones in the store that say they're waterproof, will quickly find out that leather boots really aren't waterproof. They may be water resistant for a little while, but once they start to dry out, you get a little bit of water on there, it'll soak right through and you'll have wet feet. And throughout the years, I've tried many products that have claimed to, keep your feet dry and basically waterproof leather boots. And really, I haven't had luck with anything. And, strangely enough, I think I found the secret to keeping leather boots dry. Especially for me, this is kind of tough in the winter because I prefer to, wear leather boots when I'm snow plowing because I have a lot of motion in my feet, as opposed to like a big hunting boot like that. You really can't really feel what you're stepping on the floor. Like if you go for the accelerator, boot's so wide you might accidentally grab the brake, and you don't want to fuck around with that. So that's why I really like wearing leather boots like this in the winter, especially for snow plowing. And the problem I always have is I'll go out, I'll shovel a little bit, I'll get snow on my boots, and I'll come back in the truck, and obviously my boots are warmer than outside, so the snow will melt on there. And by the end of 6 hours of that type of motion, my feet are wet, and that's really always troubled me. And yeah, I've always been looking for a better solution to keeping them dry, and I think I found it, and it's not what you think. But anyway, before we get to my secret here, the first thing you want to do with leather boots, especially in this condition, you can see they're all dried out, and they might be lightly cracking a little bit. I really don't have much cracking going on here because I normally oil these kind of often, but I do have some scratches in there, heavy scratches, because I wear them like work boots. So again, the first thing that you want to do is you want to use some type of cleaner. The specific brand I use is Lexol, and I've had good results with it. They're not paying me to do this. This is just what I found to work quite well. It says it's pH balancer, and that basically cuts off all the dirt and crap that you have on there. The next thing you want to do is use some type of conditioner. Again, I'm using Lexol. It softens the leather, also helps prevent cracking. And additionally, after you use that conditioner, it gives you that nice darker leather color that I'm sure most of you are after. And now here's the secret. That's right, it's Murphy's Superior Hairdressing Pomade. And we'll get to that a little bit later. Alright, so again, obviously we're going to start with cleaner. First thing I like to do is give it a good shake because this stuff sits for a while. And I take a shop towel. Some people use a sponge or whatever, but I've always used a shop towel, and that works just fine for me. Lay it on there nice and thick. I'm going to get to work here. You can see all that crap that's coming off there. And that's pretty much the difference so far, and that's just a cleaner. So I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. I'm also going to get the tongue a little bit, and I'm going to go through the rest of these boots, and then we'll get back and we'll go over the preservative. Okay, so I've already started the process of putting this conditioner on here, and obviously you want to do the same thing you did with the cleaner. Basically you want to shape it up. I'm just using a folded up shop towel again. This stuff is kind of milky. Try not to spill any of it. It's kind of expensive. And you just want to pretty much go over every part of the boot. You can already see that it's starting to get that nice shine. It's somewhat consistent throughout the boot compared to the boot next to me where it's a little dull. Also, I didn't really mention you want to try and let the cleaner dry first before you put this on here, or let it soak in. This boot's pretty much good to go now. So I'm gonna apply this preservative to the rest of my boots, and then we'll get back to the final step. Now while I'm finishing up on this last boot here, I will mention that, you know, most people really don't understand boot care. And I used to not really understand how to properly take care of a pair of leather boots either. You know, I used to go to hunting shows all the time and, you know, state fairs, and I always found that there would be this person on a chair who's yelling at you, hey, let me shine your boots, and, you know, they're trying to sell like a beeswax type of leather boot care product. And that's all fine and well, but the product doesn't work. And basically, products like that, you know, that claim, you know, they'll clean and protect your boots and shine it, all they're really doing is putting like a coat of wax on your boots that really doesn't last that long, and it's not really treating the leather. And basically in this video, I'm really trying to show you the proper way to clean and preserve your leather. That way you have your boots for a long time. Now, onto the secret. As you can see, I already did my first pair of boots. Now there's two things I'm going to guarantee about this product before I get into it. I guarantee that it will keep your feet dry, and I find that to be obviously the most important thing. And I guarantee it's going to look kind of ugly. As you can see, it's not pretty. But I guarantee this will keep your feet dry, and that really to me is the most important thing. So again, this stuff is Murphy Superior Hair Dressing Pomade, and basically what it is, it's an incredibly thick wax that you normally use for your hair. It's so thick, in fact, that I'm actually using a glove, because last time I used it with my bare hands, and it took me pretty much the whole day to try and get it off my hand. And I'll just show you real quick. This stuff is like really thick. So today I've actually been playing around with a better way to apply it, and that basically entails a heat gun. So what I like to do, like to heat this up, and you can see it kind of melts like wax. So get a little puddle of wax down there. I take my boot, I just rub it in. And also, one of the great advantages about using this product, even though this is nothing what it was ever designed for, is if you look closely in this boot here, hopefully you can see it, there is a pretty decent gash going through there, and I'd say that probably goes a little more than halfway through the leather. So when you apply this stuff in there, it will basically seal off that crack. And additionally, a way to really set it in that crack is to take your heat gun again and melt it down a little bit. It'll shine it up, give it like a glazed donut, and it'll really penetrate deep in that crack and basically give you the driest leather boot you've ever had. So let me know what you think, guys. I know, sorry for any of you fashion lovers out there that were hoping for something fashion friendly, but I mean, you really got to choose here. Do you want something that looks nice, or do you want something that works? Then this stuff works. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.